Hello and welcome to the Acceleration podcast. This is episode 3. In this episode, what we're going to try and do is generate a large number of worksheets from a list. And for an example, what we're going to work with today is we're going to pretend that we've got this sort of timesheet template right here, and we want to create 36 copies of it for the next 3 years, starting on January of next year. But we don't want to do it by hand, because that's just going to take forever. So there's got to be a way to sort of automate this, or at least automate most of it. And that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing I'm going to do is make our list. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is click here. I'm going to hit Control Asterisk to select the contiguous region. I'm going to go to Insert Table. Where's the data for the table? It selected it correctly. My table does have headers. I'm going to hit OK. So now I'm going to left click here. I'm going to go to Home and Fill Series. I want a column series, and I want stop value of 36. What this is going to do, you need to have a 1 here to make this work in the selected cell. This is going to generate a column that has all the values 1 through 36. So I hit OK, and there you go. Kind of hard to explain, pretty obvious once you see it. Okay, that's the first step. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to have the actual labels that I want for each one of my sheets. So to do that, I'm going to do a couple things. The first one is I'm going to do date, this function right here. Which year do I want? Well, we're going to start for 2012, with 2012 I should say. The month, well, let's skip the month for right now. The day I want 1. Now let's go back and finish that month. With the month, I actually want 0, but I also want to add this number right here. Okay, now when I hit click, since this is a table, it's going to continue all the way down. It's going to copy the formula all the way down. Okay, so this is a good start. This is the first day of the month for the next 3 years, starting January 1st next year. But that's not quite what I want. So let me do one other thing first. Now I've got my date as a serial number. I'm going to use the text function here. Open parentheses. Well, this is the value that I want right here. That part's already done. We just did that. And the format that I want for it is, I'm going to do this format. I'm going to do YYYY. So this is going to display the year as a 4-digit year, so 2012, as opposed to YY, which would just be 12. So YYY hyphen MM. And that's going to display the month as a 2-digit month. So January will be 01, February 02, and so on and so forth. Then I'm going to hit space, open parentheses, MMM, and this is going to display the month as a 3-character name, like January will be Jan, so on and so forth. So close quotation marks, close parentheses. So that should be my function. Let's see if I didn't make any mistakes. Okay, good. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so we're a good chunk of the way there. So now I'm going to click here in the table. I'm going to hit Control Asterisk again to select the whole thing. And now I'm going to Insert, Pivot Table, and OK. So now I've got my pivot table based on the source table here. And you might be asking, why in the world are you doing that? Well, it'll become apparent in a second. So if you look back here, all the labels that I want are in this column labeled per, PER colon. I named it that very specifically. So I'm going to go back here to my pivot table. And I'm going to take per and I'm going to drag it into report filter. Now what report filter does is it lets you select from anything in that column over there, and it will sort of filter everything in the pivot table accordingly. Now that we don't really have any information to filter, but we're going to use this to our advantage. So hit cancel. That's not really that important. So now that I've got that, I'm going to left click here, and I'm going to go to my pivot table contextual ribbon bar, and I'm going to go to options, and I'm going to go to show report filter pages. And this is a little tool. What this tool does is it's going to take every line in this period, PER colon field, and generate a new pivot table report with that filtered. So, okay, watch down here when I hit OK. Boom. Look at that. Here's all the sheets we want with the appropriate name. The only thing we have that we don't want is this thing up here, which we don't really mind this part of it, but we don't want it to be an actual pivot table, and we don't want this little filter thing. So, we are most of the way there. So, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little button right here, which is going to take me to all the way to the end. So these are the last worksheets. I'm going to go to Sample. Now notice here in my template that I want to copy to all the other sheets, here where I've got what look to be blanks, I've inserted a null string. Let me show you how I did that. This is going to become important in a second. So, okay, here I selected B5. I'm going to shift over, and then I'm going to control shift down to select all these things, right? I'm going to do equals, quotation mark, then hold down control and hit enter. What that's going to do is it's going to put that formula in all of these. Because in a second, when we copy and paste, we're going to use a special kind of paste, which anything that's empty, like these guys up here, it's not going to bother pasting those. Okay, so now I'm going to left-click on A, shift left-click on H, so this is going to select all of these columns. I'm going to Control-C to copy it. Notice the dancing ants. Now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go to all the way to the first sheet, left-click on it, click on A, click on H. Now I'm going to go all the way to the end here so I could see the last sheets. I'm going to hold down Shift. It's important to hold down Shift here, and then click on the last worksheet that is a date. This is the last worksheet that I want to actually paste my template onto. Shift, click. Now notice all of these are white now. That's because we've actually selected multiple at a time. If you'll notice up here, you've got group in square brackets. That's what it means. It means you've got ranges on multiple sheets selected at once. Okay. Now, at the very end, we're going to go up here to A. We're going to right-click, Paste Special, and I'm going to skip blanks. And this is what I talked about a second ago, where everything in the source material that didn't have anything on it, it's not going to bother pasting over this new material. So I'm going to hit OK. And look, it removed the pivot table formatting for here, which is actually very convenient. It's kind of set it up this way. So now that each sheet, if you click on it, it will be sheet with the template that you want, plus the name associated with the sheet down here. So now you've got 36 months worth of timesheets set up and ready to go, and it only took you, I don't know, less than 10 minutes. So that's it. I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you next time.